Speaking about the international break, right? What's usually the implication on the clubs returning for club football, especially teams that, the momentum, how does it affect the teams?
I must say that managers at the club level don't, enjoy that phase where you have that international break because it affects team bonding, it affects the team chemistry, and definitely you expect that a club like Chelsea will be the most affected.
But I don't think they lost so many players to the break.
Well, some of their key players, were
Is
on
Modric a key
international
player?
break.
We'll be touching later on that, but
Modric is a
Modric
key player for Chelsea, all things being equal, because it's a team sport for them. And, for the first time in about 71 outings, we saw Chelsea score, at least 4 goals. And then also for the first time in a long while, we saw them win 3 successive games, in all competitions, which is indeed a huge one. It seems they were trying to get, or they were beginning to get their feet back under manager Mauricio Pochettino.
We'll touch on that. We'll touch on that later.
It wasn't a good one for them.
Lasha, how about injuries? Neymar is injured now. I think he should be out for the season. Al Hilal are already counting their losses. What's going on? And that's due to the international break, right? Also, AFCON will be coming up, which is also an international break, by the way. A lot of clubs don't really like releasing their players for AFCON, but they seem comfortable to release their players for these Euros and South American qualifiers. They're biased towards African football.
You can't cheat nature. Injuries is bound to happen in sport generally, not even football, generally in sports. So you can't take away that. But sometimes a lot of teams are very careful with their players when they go out for international break because of injuries. But you can't still cheat nature. It's going to happen. Remember when Arsenal sent our physio to accompany Partey to one of the AFCON to the games, the friendly games, and that's so a lot of clubs do that too, so that they can protect the injury-prone players. So you can't change that. It's definitely going to happen, but is the injury going to be much in some clubs? That's the most important thing, because some teams, when they come up with international break, they don't get themselves again. They have to find it hard to come back to their feet, and it takes them months and weeks to get back to that field. So, but injury, we can't take it from sport. It is something that must happen. And AFCON is another big game. A lot of teams in Premier League are trying not to sign some African players because of this AFCON. Some clubs suffered with some years.
I don't think Man City is going.
Man City obviously they don't have. It's only the time they were there Toure, and since then they've not had any African player on that team. Arsenal will be missing Partey. At some point, because of the squad depth Arsenal is having now, they may not actually miss him so much. But if it was last season, it's going to be a big loss for Arsenal. So same as Liverpool. Liverpool are done. Just Salah will going to be out of the team. Mane has gone as left.
Salah is very important. Salah is very important. Chelsea is baffling me because even with the way they spent all their money, only Jackson will be missing, and they can replace him, right? Because they have Roger, by the way. Nkunku might be back as well.
He's back in training?
Exactly. So some clubs, they won't feel the implication on the AFCON. Why some clubs will feel the implication is usually bigger than...
wow. Just to buttress, what they said about the international break, Victor Osimhen is definitely one player that Napoli I wouldn't be happy about. This is not the first time Osimhen is coming back from the international assignment and is getting injured. And I wouldn't be surprised in the future if there is a battle between the Nigerian Football Federation and also...
I don't think Napoli will want to release him again because he's back injured.
If there is going to be any form of negotiation between the club and the country, I'm sure Napoli will want to toe the line of what Arsenal did to Partey. Arsenal ensured that Efisio was with Partey while he was on international duty.
Yes.
And the agreement between both clubs was the fact that let him just play 45 minutes of the international friendly match against Mexico. After 45 minutes, just substitute him. And that was what happened. So going forward, I see all these happenings because these clubs, they spend so much on these players, and no club wants to lose key players to injury.
Right. So I want to throw this out there, and I want to introduce you to the guys too. If Napoli don't release Osimhen again for this Nations Cup that's coming on, should he leave? I'll just throw it out to the fans. Should he leave now?
So basically...
Because we can't handle him not playing for us, right? Though we are blessed with attacking options, right? We have the likes of Awoni, we have the likes of Sadiq Kumar, Terry Murphy.
I
I don't think Onachu will be called up, right?
So I think,
Osimhen is very important. Boniface
it
might
is-
be informed, but Osimhen is important.
I think Osimhen is what has made the Super Eagles attack, a blessing. He's the player that has made the attack special. He's the player that has brought something different to the national team. Apart from Victor Osimhen, yes, Victor Boniface
Yeah.
getting the job done in the Bundesliga, but we're yet to see him replicate such form in the national team, which is a big gamble. We've seen players who are who have that success, at the club level, but that has not been able to translate, to success stories at the national team level. So we need to be very careful with that going into the AFCON tournament. But by and large, like you said, there is always the window of FIFA coming, to negotiate, so to say, with these clubs to release them for, international competitions like this. But the biggest challenge over the years has been the fact that the AFCON tournament does not align with the calendar of FIFA, UEFA, and all others, whereby when club engagements are on, you have these players who could also play at the AFCON tournament. So that's been a big challenge
I think they tried to
over
do it
the
one
years.
time.
But they should have done that a long time ago. I think it shouldn't be an issue.
When it's done, in most cases, these competitions are always held, during the raining season and all that,
Yes.
which is a major challenge. And I feel between January, February on the continent, it is always, the dry season. And for the first time in almost, 5 decades, we've seen countries like Tanzania, Kenya, having the opportunity of hosting the AFCON tournament, So that's, what we're seeing at this point in time. But let's keep our fingers crossed. But one thing is certain, we will get to that battlefield. And I feel the Nigerian Football Federation should be ready for a big
because
battle.
a lot of
Napoli.
aside Nigeria, a lot of players from other countries, African countries, they are coming home now. You understand? Maybe those that were born in Europe, now they want to come and play for their countries. And they are also important to their clubs as well. You understand? But if their clubs are insisting that they don't want to release them, aside Nigeria now, other African teams will come up like, we need this player as well. Like someone like Zaha for Ivory Coast now, someone like Frankesi, Sangare, they want to come home. What if their clubs don't release them?
So the truth is, the national team is always at a disadvantage.
But you can't blame the continent now.
Nobody
will say Meredo for that.
but the issue is this. The major actors who are involved in all this quagmire at the end of the day suffer it the most if they don't respect their club sides. You should also consider the fact that they have a contract, at the club level. That is one. Secondly, when you don't play matches and them other... Let me give an example. Emile Smith-Rowe at Arsenal is only probably looking for an opportunity to indeed play games and showcase what they can do during game moments. Now, when players lose their first team jerseys, they find it very difficult to get it back in a very competitive team. And that's another challenge for them. Or when you insist that you want to represent your country at the AFCON tournament, then clubs will just look for the option of saying, okay, let's sell him off to another club so we don't have this challenge and all that. So it's a big challenge, no doubt.